Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Pokemon Battle Series, The School of Hard Knocks. Throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Global Link Battle Spot ladder, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which are the equivalent rule set of the VGC 2017 season. So, we've got that out of the way. So today, guys, this is going to be the last episode that will be featuring my International Challenge team that we've been running yesterday. We did an episode earlier in the week. So we're going to say goodbye to this team today. This will be the kind of final farewell to it, and we'll follow this episode up with a team review episode, which will cover everything from me building the team, which will be pretty in depth. So stay tuned for that. That'll be up in like an hour's time. I think we would have had an episode out yesterday, but unfortunately I've had a few issues with my internet and uploading time. So the videos that I uploaded yesterday took absolutely ages to upload, but we'll get into that a bit later because we have our first opponent of the day, and they are running a team of Golduck, Pelipper, Tapu Bulu, Goodra, Alolan Muck, and Alolan Marowak. So we've got the Rain Core there with the Pelipper and the Golduck. We've got the Tapu Bulu to bring the grassy terrain to the field. The Goodra just is just a defensive pivot. It can do all sorts of things. It's going to be very bulky, so we need to really make use of our Tapu Lele there to kind of be able to handle that a bit better. The Alolan Muck and Alolan Marowak are going to be a bit of a problem as well. So I do like Garchomp here a lot, and we need to be careful obviously with that Goodra for the dragon type attacks that it can fire off. And I do like Gigalith as well. Gigalith's really good here. We just need to be careful. If we bring the Gigalith, just be careful of the Tapu Bulu, to be honest, and the Rain Core. But we do, if we bring Porygon 2 as well, that should give us a bit of a heads up. But then obviously we need to be careful with the Muck as well. I think what I might do, So I don't want to lead Gigalith, to be honest. I could lead Gigalith, but then he can just switch in the Pelipper quite freely. So I think I might lead Porygon 2, Arcanine, Gigalith, and Tapu Lele, and click in with like no time to go. So hopefully this kind of works out. And hopefully going into next week, obviously guys, I keep saying this week we were meant to have a new team to feature in the channel, but I kept that back and we'll go into next week with the new team. So once we've done the team review episode, that'll be after this, we'll go into next week with the new team. So I'm pretty excited about using it. There's some nice ideas in there. There's some standard stuff from the metagame as well, but some nice ideas in there as well. So it might give you guys an idea of what to kind of and how to play with. So my opponent here is leading off with the Golduck and Tapu Bulu. So as we expected, not the Pelipper, expecting the Gigalith to kind of come in. We do get an Intimidate off onto the Tapu Bulu, which is nice. And we're pretty free here to kind of just set up the Trick Room if we want to. So I think I'm going to do that with my Porygon 2. We do need to be careful, obviously, if the Golduck decides to go for a Hydro Vortex into the Arcanine, or just a Hydro Pump into the Arcanine slot. So what I think I will do is just protect. Actually, I'm not going to. I'm going to just go for a Snarl. Because if that Pelipper does come in and we can get a Snarl off, then at least we're going to be breaking the sash. So I'd imagine the Pelipper's coming here. The Golduck may target down the Arcanine, but then it means we get a free switch into a Gigalith in Trick Room, which is going to put us in a way better position going into the latter stages of the match. So we do see a Skull come out from the Golduck. Is in rain, but we are super bulky, so we survive that, and we will get that Snarl off. So that's really important. And more importantly, we get the Trick Room off here as well. We do hit the Snarl on both Pokemon, so we break that potential sash on the Pelipper, and just weaken that Golduck as well, which is pretty important. So we're sitting in not too bad a position here, because this next turn we can pick up the KO onto the Pelipper with a T-Bolt from the Porygon 2. We have to be careful though of that Marowak possibly switching in on the Golduck slot. But I think I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna go for the T-bolt, and I'm gonna. See, the thing is, I don't really want to switch my Gigalith in too prematurely to take my Gigalith to get burnt. But if that Marok does come in, the Gigalith is going to be a good switch in for it. So we'll go for it anyway. So we switch in the Gigalith, get the Sandstorm up, get rid of that rain. As I say, the only thing that we've got to worry about is the Gold Duck. So is the Tapu Bulu coming back in on that Gold Duck slot? We will get a Thunderbolt off onto the Pelipper. This should pick up the KO. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. So we get rid of the rain threat straight away. And the Tapu Bulu and the Porygon 2 will take a round of hail, sandstorm damage, but they'll just recover that back with the grassy terrain. So I'd imagine maybe, I don't know if we'll see the Golduck here. It will depend on what my opponent has in the back, but maybe the Muck or the Goodra or the Marowak. Let's just name the other 3 Pokemon we haven't seen. But it is the Golduck, so the Golduck comes straight back out again. And I think what I'm going to do here is double in to the Tapu Bulu with an Ice Beam and a Continental. Wonder if a Heavy Slam would be enough, and then I can keep. No, I'm not going to risk the Heavy Slam, because Tapu Bulu can be quite defensively built. I don't want to risk missing the KO here, so I think just going for the Continental Crush into it, that should put it in Ice Beam range, so we should pick up the KO there. We see no Protect coming out from my opponent's end of the field, so that's nice. And even if that Golduck goes for a Scald into my Gigalith, we've still got the Thunderbolt on my Porygon 2, so we should be able to take care of it that way. So we get the Continental Crush, does good damage, so hopefully this Ice Beam is enough. Yeah, so that takes care of the Tapu Bulu. And then we'll see, so we're going to see a Hydro Vortex from the Golduck, and this will probably be into my my Gigalith slot here. But without the rain, I probably will KO, to be honest. We have the Sandstorm up, so you never know. Let's see. See if Gigalith's strong enough to take this Hydro Vortex. No way. So, we're trading Pokemon for Pokemon, but as I say, I don't mind too much, because we've still got the Thunderbolt with our Porygon 2. It'll be doing super effective damage onto the Golduck, and my opponent is down to his last 2 Pokemon. So what I'll do here is bring in my Tapu Lele, just get rid of that grassy terrain, stop my opponent being able to heal any health back, and if, depending on my opponent's last Pokemon, we've still got the Arcanine in the back to switch in. But it is that Goodra, so that is not too bad at all. Although in the Trick Room it probably is underspeeding my Tapu Lele. So I think I'll just go for a T-Bolt onto the Golduck. And I'm just going to protect my Tapu Lele here, because I expect maybe a Sludge Bomb to come out from that Goodra onto the Tapu Lele slot. So we get the Protect off with the Tapu Lele. We go for the Thunderbolt into the Golduck. It should do good damage, really good damage. We do see a Sludge Bomb come out onto the Tapu Lele and a Hydro Pump again. So just doubling into the Lele there. Everything will take a round of Sandstorm damage. That Golduck should go down here to the Sandstorm. And then we've only got that Goodra to worry about. Is it going to go down? Yeah. So that's the Golduck down. And I think this will be going into the last round of a Trick Room. And just to preserve my Tapu Lele till the Trick Room ends, I'm just going to switch in my Arcanine here. and go for an Ice Beam with my Porygon 2. I don't want to take a Sludge Bomb and have it critical hit and take me out, and then it's going to make the match a lot harder for me to take this Goodra down, so especially if it's Assault Vested as well. Makes a lot more sense to preserve the Tapu Lele when I can, put it in the back and bring it in at a later stage when I know it'll be outspeeding that Goodra, so I can just get a free Moonblast off onto it. So the Goodra does go for the Sludge Bomb into that slot, picks up the poison on my Arcanine as I switched it in. But I'm not too worried. This should be the last turn of Trick Room. And then we can just get a couple of Snarls off. Maybe 1 or 2 with that Arcanine. And I'm not going to worry about setting the Trick Room up again. I don't need to worry about that. I'll just go for an Ice Beam and a Snarl. And then when Arcanine goes down, I'm bringing in the Tapu Lele, and that Goodra should be in range for a Moonblast at that point. Get the Snarl off. We will lower its special attack, so it's not going to be hitting as hard. Goodra reveals Muddy Water. So let's fingers crossed no accuracy drops on our Porygon 2. But as he says that, we get an accuracy drop. Do we hit the Ice Beam? No! Okay. It's not too bad. The Sandstorm subsides and we will just bring in our Tapu Lele. And I think rather than go for a Moonblast, I will go for a Shattered Psyche, just to make sure. We've still got the Psychic Terrain up, so we can just take advantage of that. So I'll go for an Ice Beam with my Porygon 2 again. Oh, we can't go for the Shattered Psyche because we've used the Continental Crush, of course. So I will just go for a Moonblast. And it should, the combination of these should be enough. We'll see what the Moonblast damage is like. Yeah, Goodra just hangs on there. And we get another special attack drop, so that's nice. So we should be able to take a couple of Sludge Bombs, or maybe more. So that's pretty nice. No poison there. Porygon 2 has dropped his glasses, so we're not going to be hitting that Ice Beam, but we should pick up the KO here with another Moonblast, and that would be game. So yeah, just the final Moonblast and Tapu Lele closing the game out for us. So, not a bad win there. Good way to start the episode for Friday, and we'll go into game 2. And that'll be probably the last game with the team that we're going to have on the channel. So a little bit sad. But we've had a lot of games with this team. But let's just see how quick it'll be to find the next opponent. Hopefully it won't take too long. Yeah, so like I had like mad issues with my internet yesterday. It was like, and I heard from a few people that the whole Bristol area where I live was like, the internet was like really like down. So I don't know, but I could not upload at any speed to get anything up yesterday. It was just such a nightmare. So it's I do apologize about that, guys. The videos came out yesterday, were a bit later, obviously, and we but it just means you guys are going to get 2 days of the QR code series, and yeah, so yeah, we just missed a day, but never mind. And we have our next opponent from Italy, 1510 rating, and running a team of Kartana, Xurkitree, Tapu Lele, my favourite Talonflame, Arcanine, and Alolan. So quite an interesting team here. 2 Ultra Beasts with the Kartana and Xurkitree. It's strange to see the Talonflame in there with Tapu Lele, because the Psychic Terrain kind of counteracts the Gale Wings ability. So I guess it's a mod that I do know about, where you lead Talonflame, Xurkitree. Xurkitree goes for a Discharge or a Tail Glow. Talonflame normally Tailwinds. Then what you do with the Xurkitree is knock the Talonflame out and potentially one of the 2 opposing Pokemon, and you get like a double or triple Beast boosted. But we know about it, so let's not allow that to happen. I think I might lead my Garchomp and my Arcanine. He has got a double Fire Core, so I don't know how useful Celesteela will be here, although it is very good against the Lele Cortana are not bad against the Alolan Muck. So I think I will just go with standard 4 that we've got, and we'll just have to play a little bit carefully around what my opponent wants to do, depending if he brings the circuitry to the match or not. I'd imagine he will. It matches up not too bad against a lot of my Pokemon. But you'll be aware of the Garchomp, so you probably bring the Arcanine for Intimidate support there. But we'll see what happens. So my opponent leads off with that Talonflame and Tapu Lele, and the other thing, my opponent might be running Flame Body Talonflame as well, so that's something to kind of consider as well. Do you see the Tapu Lele? It does get the Psychic Terrain up before my Arcanine's Intimidate, so we have to be careful that it may be Scarfed. But we are Assault Vest, so we should be able to take anything that the Lele throws at us. So I'm just going to go for a Snarl with my Arcanine and a Rock Slide with my Garchomp, and see what my opponent does. He may protect the Lele here and just go for a Tailwind with the Talonflame, but in that case, even if it is sashed, we should be able to remove it from the field, pending both my attacks hitting. So yeah, we're just going to see the Tapu Lele protect here, so I'd imagine the Tailwind coming out from the Talonflame, and yeah, we see that, so that's fine. Do get the Rock Slide off. It avoids a Talonflame, but we do get a Snarl. Okay. So that might actually be doing us a favour, to be honest, because not removing, at least the Talonflame is intimidated, so it won't be hitting as hard. Let's think. I think I'm going to go for a Poison Jab into the Tapu Lele and go for a... See, I really want to kind of preserve the Garchomp more than anything, to be honest. I think what I'm going to do is switch my Garchomp into my Celesteela here. I wouldn't imagine my opponent going for a Flare Blitz or a Fire type move into the Garchomp. So I'd imagine more Fairy, so Moonblast and maybe a Brave Bird doubling into that slot, which my Celesteela should be able to take quite comfortably. So we do see a Brave Bird come out from the Talonflame. Which slot is it going into? It's going to be into the Arcanine slot. So it does quite a lot of damage, to be honest. And a Psychic from the Tapu Lele, so it will be into the Arcanine slot again. Oh, and we just survive. So, nice survival there. Get the Iapa Berry. And we get, more importantly, a Snarl onto that Tapu Lele. So, I am just going to go for a Heavy Slam into the Tapu Lele. And I'm going to switch in my... I'm just going to protect... should I protect my Arcanine, or do I want to have it in the back? Let's see what else my opponent's got. Yeah, so you could have the Cortana and things. So I do need to preserve my Arcanine for later in the match, really. So I'm going to switch in my Garchomp at this point. And we could see a Flare Blitz onto my Celesteela, but the Talonflame has been intimidated. Shouldn't be hitting as hard. And we should be able to take the Flare Blitz, to be honest, and we should get the Heavy Slam off. But then you've got to think a Flare Blitz and maybe a Shattered Psyche into the Celesteela, maybe enough to actually pick up the KO here. So Talonflame does go for the Flare Blitz, takes a lot of recoil damage, and we see a Moonblast into the Garchomp slot. So my opponent playing that very well there. But we do get the Heavy Slam off, which is the main thing. So we take care of one threat on the field. And we'll just... Oh, we get the Beast Boost. And we'll recover a little bit of health with our leftovers. So I think there's one more turn of Tailwind to go. So we want to remove the Talonflame from the field before my opponent can get the Tailwind up again. I think here what I will do is switch my Celesteela out to my Arcanine, get another Intimidate off on both Pokemon, and I'm going to go for a Rock Slide just so I can hit the Talonflame, take care of it so it doesn't get a Tailwind up again. And hopefully my Garchomp's got enough in the tank to kind of survive whatever is thrown at it. We've got to be obviously wary of Hidden Part Ice and a Brave Bird. But I think if the Talonflame attacks into the Garchomp, to be honest, it will go down to Rough Skin damage and the recoil damage from its Life Orb that we've seen it hold. So Talonflame actually going for a Protect here, just to make sure that it will get off a Tailwind next turn. Xurkitree going for a T-Bolt into my Garchomp just cannot hit these Rock Slides. I think what I'm going to do here is switch out my Arcanine to my Celesteela, and I am going to go for I really do not think that Xurkitree is going to attack here. I think it has to protect and the Talonflame to get the Tailwind up. So, third time lucky with the Rock Slide. Come on, Garchomp, let's hit a Rock Slide. So, the Xurkitree doesn't even protect here, so hopefully we can get a Rock Slide flinch. It does hit both my opponent's Pokemon. We will get rid of the Talonflame eventually. But what is this Xurkitree going to go for? Going to be in trouble if it goes for the Celesteela, which it is going to do. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay. So Xurkitree will get a Beast Boost, and it is in Tailwind now. So I wonder what my opponent's last Pokemon is. If it's a Cortana, we're in a lot of trouble. And it is a Cortana. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay. There isn't a lot we can really do here. Because we can't protect our Garchomp. That's the big crux of this whole thing. I think the Xurkitree has to target down my Arcanine, to be honest. So I'm going to switch my Arcanine out to my Celesteela. So I've at least got the Intimidate to switch back in again. And I'm going to go for, I'm hoping the Xurkitree hasn't got, I'm going to go for a Fire Fang into the Cortana. Hope the Xurkitree hasn't got Hidden Part Ice. If the Xurkitree's got Hidden Part Ice, I think it's all but game over, really. So we get the Psychic Terrain up on the field with that Tapu Lele. Cortana goes for a Smart Strike, predicting right into the Arcanine slot. And we see a Hidden Part Ice. So my opponent just making all the right predicts here. And with that Beast Boost, the Xurkitree is able to pick up the KO. I feel like the Rock Slide misses on the Talonflame are really kind of coming back to bite us in the bum here a bit. So if we've been able to get the first Rock Slide off onto the Talonflame, then it wouldn't have been able to be in a position to get that Tailwind up turn 2, but there isn't really a lot we can do here, to be honest. We can double protect and try and stall out this Tailwind, but the Cortana's kind of free to pick up a KO on really anything it wants to at this point. Yeah, there isn't really a lot we can do. I think we're going to need like triple protects to kind of stall my opponent out, and then get really lucky with the Cortana not targeting down the Arcanine and us getting the KO on it, and then being left with the Xurkitree, which I cannot see happening. No way. And my opponent just taking his time to think about what he wants to do. You get the Protect off with Lele and Arcanine. And my opponent not taking any chances launching a big Z move into one of my Pokemon, the Bloom. So I'd imagine it'll probably be into the Arcanine, I'd imagine, just to make sure that it's picking up the KO, so it's not threatened by any of those fire type attacks. But it's not, it's into the Tapu Lele. So bye bye Tapu Lele, and I don't think my Arcanine on 3 health stands much chance against either of these 2 Pokemon. Cardano gets a Beast Boost, and yeah, this is it. So I will forfeit the match, and with that say farewell to this team, which is a bit of a sad way to end it on, but I'd say you can't win them all. So we had a nice run with the team, very good games to my opponent. As I say, we got a bit unlucky with the Rock Slide misses. I think it might have been a bit of a different game if the Talonflame hadn't been able to set up another Tailwind. But as I say, with other things, it's just one of those things that you have to kind of deal with. Rock Slide hasn't got the best accuracy, and it is known to miss, so that is a chance you take sometimes with these sort of things. So we will wrap things up there, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, please leave a like on the video. It's massively appreciated. If you're not subscribed to the channel, this is the first time kind of watching these videos, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of content coming out even later tonight and going into next week. So we will have a team review video up in about an hour's time, just going over this team and kind of covering how we put it together and what it was kind of meant to do. And then we will finish up the day with a QR code team special. So stay tuned for that, guys. And if you don't watch that and I don't see you again today, enjoy your weekends. Take care of yourselves, and until Monday with a brand new team, I will see you then. So yeah, take care of you guys, and I will see you later. And until then, bye bye.